Hello, everyone, and welcome to Snap Take. This is Glazer of Snap Judgments, the official podcast of Marvel Snap Zone. We've got three brand new Skaar decks for you today. All three of them are sick. I tested them. They're from some of the best deck builders in the game, but then I felt bad because I was giving you three Skaar decks and some of you didn't buy Skaar. So we've also got a relatively cheap deck for you so that you're not feeling like you're stuck with this only season pass card. We've got questions, we've got a bundle guide, we've got everything you need for your Marvel Snap journey to make it as complete and successful as possible. So we'd appreciate it if you'd hit that sub button, hit that like, hit that comment, ring that bell. We bring you 7 videos a week, 6 on this channel, 1 on Marvel Snap Zone's YouTube. We bring you at least 3 brand new decks every single weekday. We also do videos on Sunday. We have everything you could possibly need to make your Marvel Snap journey a success. Hit that button. It's totally free for you to help us out, so hopefully you're willing to do so. In addition, we do the biggest giveaway in Marvel Snap every month. We've given away 10 season passes so far. Everyone who's contacted me has received it. We've given away 10 season passes. We're giving away 5 more about next week, so make sure you stay tuned to try and get those last 5 season passes if you're missing out on all these giveaways. We are looking for the following 3 people. Odohito on YouTube. Sebasculin said he emailed me, but I don't have the email. It's not my spam folder, so please double check the email address. And Sleep Gone on Twitter. If I don't hear from, I heard from Sebasculin, but if I don't hear from Odohito or Sleep Gone by Friday, well, guess what? We're giving away 2 more season passes. Cool. In addition, we keep a sheet that has every single season pass in Marvel Snap. It is a way, every giveaway, because it's not just season passes, right? It's every giveaway that's currently active in the game Marvel Snap. You can find some really great creators on the sheet. Our friend Banshee helps maintain the sheet, and by helps maintain, I mean at this point does like all the work. Super props to Banshee. But Banshee does the work of maintaining the sheet. It's a great resource for the community. Just tons of free stuff on there. Check it out. It's in the description to this video. It's in the description to every day's video, so like if you don't bookmark it, you can check any video. It's always going to be there whenever you're in the mood to look for some free stuff. We believe in deck credits here on Snap Judgments, which is a thing we said before the controversy. I promise, chill out. We start, as always, with our questions of the day. Then we've got a deck from W. W is a brilliant deck builder. We'll talk more about what W has done and what W is known for in Marvel Snap when we get to his deck. Then we've got a bundle guide for the Wakandan Wunderkind deck. Bundle. And then we've got a Safetyblade deck, another genius deck builder. We're going to talk about what Safety's done in Marvel Snap when we get to his deck. Then we've got an extra deck from Rico97. I'm just going to say quickly, Rico changed 1 card in this deck. He found it on Untapped. This is a fairly generic deck, and I could not find any better credit. If anyone knows what that is, please drop it in the comments. We'd appreciate it, but Rico hit infinite with a very simple deck that I think is worth playing. That's our non-Skaar deck for the day. Then we've got BigOldBuck. BigOldBuck is a YouTuber you can find at youtube.com/@BigOldBuck. He's got like the coolest thumbnails in the game. Really nice and cool person. He's got a, you won't believe this, but Surfer Skaar deck. And I climbed from 88 to 90, 78 to 82. I haven't had a lot of time to play. I usually hit infinite on Friday when I actually have some free time, though I'm going out drinking on Friday, so it'll probably be Saturday or Sunday when I finally have time to actually hit infinite. We'll end as we always do with our shop and our shoutouts. All right, Clyde Cornelius asks if we'll see new high Evo cards, and I think we know the answer. We're expecting 1 more. There is likely to be 1 more. Glenn has hinted at this in the past, so fingers crossed for that coming. Ink, one of our wonderful patrons, asks, should decks that perform better with deck trackers be noted, / should deck trackers just be in the game? So I think all decks perform better with deck trackers. They're just really useful. I think they would be in the game as well, except that there's not really space in the game's interface. If you look at the game on mobile, there's not space for it, and you can't just have it be like in half the game on the Steam platform. So it can't be in the game, and we're stuck with third-party things. But like, if there's ever a third-party deck tracker for mobile, that would be amazing. I just don't expect it. Snowpoint asks over on our friend Bootman's Discord. Snowpoint asks, assuming Spotlight has 1 good card, is it better to use 6k tokens or keys to make sure you have 4 keys by the end of the month? Assuming you want cards at the end of the month. So you should be getting like between 4 and 6 keys a month, I believe, if you buy Season Pass. The answer really depends on how many tokens. In general, it's better to use keys than tokens. In general, right? you get like 4 to 6 keys in a given month. I don't remember the exact number, sorry, but you get at least 4, and I want to say it's 6, but it could be 5. You get plenty of keys in a month. You get enough keys to really do well for yourself in any given month. And if you spend anything, you get ahead pretty quickly in keys. Unless you're spending, it takes like 4 to 6 months to get 6,000 tokens. So just on that simple math, then it's generally better to spend tokens. Although it depends how many tokens you have, right? Like if you have only 6,000 tokens now, it's better to spend keys. For me, I should probably just be hoarding keys forever. I've got this is gonna sound bad, but I've got 70,000 plus tokens. So like since I have 70,000 plus tokens, I'd have to look at the exact number, and I don't want to make y'all wait for me. So since I have 70,000 tokens, like I should just be saving a bajillion spotlights so I can get whatever the hell I want with spotlights and spending my tokens. I like tokens, so I'm not, but like at this point it doesn't matter. I'm like well beyond optimized. But generally speaking, if you have something like, according to our friend Savage Yeti, 18 to 20,000 tokens, then you should be saving occasional spotlights by buying a Series 6 card, because you should always be buying your Series 4 cards with collector's tokens, never spotlights, right? But if you have like 20,000, you're never really likely to run out because they release one a month. And at that point, you're totally fine just occasionally splurging on the Series 5 card you want. Savage Eddie also corrected me for one more thing and an answer from yesterday, so I'm going to add that correction. Fundamentally, I said that once you were later in Series 3, it was better to use gold on Token Tuesdays than the big bundles. Apparently, according to Yeti, who does all this math, check out his YouTube, Savage Yeti YT. He is so every big gold bundle, like the large, huge gold bundles, except that Cyclops one, I believe, and I don't even remember if that was cash or gold. But every huge gold bundle is better than Token Tuesday, even if it's credit based as far as progression. Token Tuesday is, by his math, 0.74 value, and there's never been a big gold bundle that is worse than that. He says he would organize the storming of the second dinner offices were that the case. I believe that is an exact quote. So don't stress it. The right way to optimize and spend gold is to hoard gold until big bundles come up and you can afford them. All good? Our first deck is W's Big Good Nonsense. Now first, let's talk about who W is. W first became known in Marvel Snap by creating the original Doom Wave. There was a Death Wave deck that played Wave, and then it played She-Hulk, Death, and usually Arrow or Doom, or Leader for a while, on the last turn. Well, W created a version that didn't run any Death stuff and just played She-Hulk and Doom on the last turn and ran a bunch of really good and powerful priority stuff otherwise. As Wave evolved, he evolved that deck and became very famous for it. He's also notable for being the person who put Psylocke and Thanos for the first time and fundamentally changed Thanos Lockdown forever. He took that to the top of the meta this summer. More recently, the Lockdown deck with Ms. Marvel, the one that was called Guardians but ran no Guardians, that was a W deck. He had a previous Guardians deck that was one of the best Guardians decks around, and he modified it so he kept the name, and that's why it was called Guardians forever, even with no Guardians in it. W has shaken up the meta multiple times. He's completely brilliant and a phenomenal player. Check him out on Twitter, X, whatever, at W_Marvel Snap. He's W streaming on Twitch. He has a YouTube, but he never uses it. But if you type in W Marvel Snap outside of my channel, you also get his. So this phenomenal player puts out this deck, and we always pay attention when W makes a deck, largely because it's always great. Even if it doesn't completely break the meta, it's always a really good deck. So what this deck is trying to do is fundamentally cheat out a bunch of cheap things. If you get Zabu, you can go Zabu, Namor, Atuma, Ronin, and then you have a free Skaar. I believe that's a free Skaar. Yeah, that's a free Skaar. Seems pretty good, right? A free Skaar, and then you could Mystique off that Ronin and play Maximus and Master Mold. Or Maximus or Master Mold, excuse me. It's silly strong, right? That's obviously like a dream scenario. You could also just go armor into like Cosmo into Atuma, and then play Ronin. Now you have a 2-power Skaar, and 2-cost Skaar, excuse me, and you can go Maximus or Mystique with Skaar and just win that way. You can drop Echo mid and shut off their Ms. Marvel. If you get a Ms. Marvel, you're just putting a ton of power on the board. Even if you get Skaar down to 2 and you've got Ms. Marvel, you've now got a 15 plus 11, 26 power play to end the game. These things seem good, right? It's a really cool deck. I'm going to be blunt. I hate Master Mold. I think Master Mold is bad. Lambie convinced me. I was playing it because I thought I had to in Ronin decks, and I don't especially like it. But look, if you're running Ronin and Mystique, I get it. It probably has to be there because you're putting so much behind that. Don't be afraid to Mystique Ms. Marvel, though. Could you Mystique Sabu? I feel like there's worse things to do than Mystique Sabu in this deck. I haven't done that yet. I played this for, I don't know, 5 or 6 games to get a feel for it so I could explain it better. But, like, Zabu Mystique then makes, if you have Namor, Ms. Marvel, and Atuma, if you have 2 of those in your hand, right? You can play 2 of them on turn 4. And then if you go Ronin on 5, like, your turn 6 is just going to be real powerful. I don't know. It seems like it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. Curious. Okay. Master Mold can be Medusa, Scorpion, or Jeff. I like Scorpion a lot right now because cards like Namor, cards like Atuma, when hit by Scorpion, and no longer make that Scar cheaper. Medusa's just good power. Jeff is Jeff, one of the best cards in the game. Echo can be Nebula, Spider-Ham or Scorpion, or even Nightcrawler or Iceman. There's lots of options. A lot of the ongoing is cycling out of the meta, so maybe Echo can start to be cut again. Echo was like an absolute killer game winner card when that Hella Enjoyer deck was everywhere. You need Ms. Marvel and Skaar. Sorry, Ms. Marvel is too much power, too wide for this deck. You can try to replace it with another Power 4, but the problem is another Power 4 that fits doesn't really exist. So if they release another Power 4 that could replace this, and, like, at this point, just go get Zabu. Zabu is too good and too powerful in the meta right now to not have. Okay. This won 67% of its games in 66 games and was the rank 45 deck in Marvel Snap, which is all just silly, silly numbers. So turn 1, you play Echo mid. Turn 2, Zabu is better than Armor, is better than Master Mold. Zabu is just like your key card here. Zabu is almost a snap condition into itself. Armor lets you play a Tomb without fear. And Master Mold is fine. You don't want to, but you'll play it over nothing. Because at least it's 6 the cards in hand, right? Turn 3, if you play Zabu, drop a 4/10. If not, Cosmo or Armor or Mold. If you've got Atuma, Armor jumps up the queue. Turn 4 is Namor Atuma. Atuma is obviously better with Armor. Turn 5 is Ronin. Turn 6 is Ms. Marvel and Maximus, or Maximus and Mystique, or yada, yada, yada. Whatever the hell you can dump based on all the things you've played so far. All good? This deck is sick. Nice and simple, variant time. I have the Peach Moco Echo. Literally, as soon as I'm done with this, I'm going to go yell at the Marvel Snap Zone owner, who's a friend of mine at this point, to get that Echo fixed, because I want to be able to show my Peach Moco Echo. But I have the Peach Moco Echo. As always, we're doing hip count. We're doing hip Mold, hip Zabu. Oh, is that it? Hip Ronin, hip Atuma, hip Ms. Marvel, hip Cosmo. 6 hips. Not bad, not bad. I remember when 6 was like our goal and was amazing, but now we've done better with hips. I don't have a Skaar variant yet, but obviously I'll have one because I have the season pass. I love Phoenix Force Namor. We'll talk more about that on the actual podcast. We're recording with the Masternaut, Phil Woodward, and Jess Snaps. So we're going to talk about Namor a little bit in that podcast because I think it's interesting that this is like the best Namor has ever been by a lot. And then we just have the best armor in the game and the best Maximus in the game because we do. Cool. All right. There's a new bundle. This is $100. I'm debating buying this. I haven't actually decided yet. I get paid Friday, right? And I could just pull $100 off one of my different Snap accounts and do it. It's a write-off, but like I don't need another Shuri. I have Hip Shuri, I have Black Panther Shuri, I have Baby Shuri, and I have that cool Shuri with like the braids, where it's like a close-up of her from above. So I have like 5 Shuris. 4 Shuris? 4 Shuris. Do I need a 5th? 1,000 collector's tokens is useless. The 10,000 gold, though. So what the value here is $100 is usually 8,000 gold. And so getting 10,000 gold and 2,000 credits and 1,000 collector's tokens for the same $100 is good value. It's very good value. Is it must buy? But it's very good value. Cool. I like to see the progress for like the $100 ones be up around 200% instead of 186, but like this is enough gold to keep me swimming in the variants for a long time. Or like if you're trying to get like more tokens or whatever else, this is like good value. It's not amazing value, but it's good value. It's like very good value. Cool. Again, I'm completely borderline whether I'm going to buy it. I've almost bought it 3 times today. Luckily, it's only a 5-day one, so like it's possible that this just expires before my willpower wanes. But I think that this is a very good bundle if you can use that gold for other big progression bundles if you're trying to progress in Marvel Snap. Cool. Again, meh, but still, like, very good. So I'd rather, when this was data mined as 8,000 collector's tokens, I'd much rather have that. I'd rather be really, really close with the gold given to getting a Series 5 and a Series 4 card than this, but, like, this will have better long-term value in all likelihood. It's just, we don't know when that, like, the bundles are so unpredictable that it's so hard to recommend now. I'm really sorry I can't give you better. But as of right now, I'm not planning on buying this. All right. Sorry. Binks keeps going live, and apparently I have notifications for Binks. I watch Binks sometimes, but not like all the time. But apparently I've got notifications for Binks. So I'm getting like 50 notifications for Binks going live while I'm recording. My bad. Check out Binks though. Binks is a really cool dude. All right. So Safetyblade's real big Skaar. This is Safety's version that he hit Infinite with. We'll look at his rank and so on later. Safety invented multiple decks. The original Dracula dump deck is a Safetyblade original. Safety is that Hell Enjoyer deck. The base of it, like the core of it, is Safety. The Hella Tribunal deck, the one that was running Invisible Woman, that's a Safetyblade deck. And the best Safetyblade deck ever, in my personal opinion, is the Darkhawk Stature list that took over the meta for like 2 months. That was a Safetyblade deck. So Safety is a brilliant deck builder. He writes from Ruffle Snap Zone. He does like, so people keep asking me, like, why don't you do videos for hot locations? One, I don't play ladder really during hot locations. I hate hot locations. I think they're boring. But Safety writes an article on Snap Zone for every hot location with decks. And like, you can just feel free to play Safety decks. They're just always worth playing. All right, this looks similar to the other one, right? But it doesn't play similar at all. This is your classic Shuri Red Skull. I played this just long enough to feel sick. I hate Shuri Red Skull. I think it's boring. This is slightly more interesting than usual Shuri Red Skull, but it is not fun. This is our Kyera deck. We'll have some Kyera decks tomorrow that don't have Skaar in them as best we can. We're also going to have some regular decks, weekend mission decks, all that stuff tomorrow. Again, hit that sub button, ring that bell, don't miss it. So, this basically says, I can go Shuri Red Skull Taskmaster and usually win games. I can go Shuri Red Skull Blob and usually win games. Or I can, like, if I end up having enough energy on turn 4, I can drop a She-Hulk. That happened to me earlier. I can drop a Tuma. And then I can copy that with Taskmaster or drop a Red Skull. And then I have a 2-cost Skaar for the end of the game. Shuri is a 4. Skaar, that's 22 power, right? Or I can drop Skaar at that point with Ms. Marvel. Or I can just drop Blob and say go to hell. I've got Skaar out from turn 3. So much the better. There is a pathway to a free... actually, no, there's not. I don't believe there is. I lied. There is no pathway to that free Skaar without help here, but whatever. You also have my favorite play. The only play that I like making with this deck is play Shuri on 4, pass on 5, no Sunspots, so a little bit sad, and then She-Hulk and Taskmaster, and then you have a 40 power last turn. Unfortunately, that's a 40 power turn 5 and 6, so it's not as impressive as it seems, but it is still, excuse me, it is still very cool. That's the deck. It's a good deck. This is probably the best version of Shuri Red Skull that exists right now. It finally took out the Sauron version. Echo can be Nebula, Spider-Ham, Iceman, or Nightcrawler. Trent, so we're thinking Nebula is the best, but hey, all these are good. There are no other real replacements. Ms. Marvel, you can try Namor or Super Skrull. Maybe Namor is actually good. I take it back. You can replace Ms. Marvel with Namor. So my logic here for replacing Ms. Marvel with Namor is if you go Zabu, you can go Namor, Atuma, right? And then you have that 2-cost Skaar right there. And then if you go, like, I don't know, Red Skull, you have a free Skaar. And if you have a free Skaar on the last turn of the game, you can do some silly stuff. You can copy with Taskmaster. You can play Shuri, Armor, and Skaar on the last turn, so on and so forth. And that's pretty good. So I vote Namor. Please don't replace Carrier from this deck. It's really good. I mean, you can. I just really don't suggest you do because you're dropping that Skaar and that She-Hulk fairly early, and Shang-Chi is still a card. Blob is like what puts this over the top. If you're not blobbing, you're pretty close to just cutting Kyra and running that Sauron version and calling it a day. And at that point, you replace it with Typhoid and yada, 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 yada. Although, again, that's still a real deck. It's just this is better. Okay, 63% in 100 games. When Safety hit Infinite, he was number 26 in the world, which is, again, absurd. Echo mid. Turn 2, Zabu is better than Armor. Turn 3, Zabu over Atuma, over Kyra, over Armor. unless you know you're playing Atuma, then armor takes over care. Turn 4, I generally like Shuri, but Skaar and Atuma are fine. So is She-Hulk. Turn 5, Red Skull, especially if you have armor out. So like you can just go Shuri, Red Skull, Blob, and win most of your games. If you go Kara, Shuri, Red Skull, Blob, you win. Enjoy your cubes. And then you Blob or Taskmaster, or you can drop Ms. Marvel plus Skaar. It's icky. This deck is icky how strong it is. Our friend from the Snappening, we miss you, Rip Snappening. Monroe absolutely loves this deck because he's a heartless fella. Okay, variants. We're short on hips again here, I'm telling you. Zabu, Shuri. We could have Ms. Marvel, but I chose not to. Blob, Atuma, 4, 5 if we ran that Ms. Marvel. I decided that Peach Momoko She-Hulk needed a friend, so we went with the Peach Momoko Ms. Marvel. And then we should have the Peach Momoko Echo. We talked about that already. I got this Taskmaster from a Spotlight not a Spotlight, from a random cache recently, and I wasn't really planning on running it, but when I looked at it next to Red Skull, I decided those variants look nice together, and then obviously Kyra and Skaar are here, because duh. Also, as always, screw Nazis, Red Skull sucks, go to hell. So I felt bad for the Skaar stuff, so here's an extra infinite deck that does not have Skaar, does not have Kyra, and does not have Ms. Marvel. People are like yelling at me all the time, like, why is Ms. Marvel in all the decks? I didn't buy Ms. Marvel. I don't know what to tell you. Ms. Marvel's the best card in the game, at least until the patch. We'll see if that changes it. You only need one high series card here. Get it? High evolutionary series card here that everyone can currently access because it's in Spotlights. Assuming you have Spotlights. So this is the deck that Riku 97 hit Infinite with. It's real cool. It basically just says I'm going to lower my opponent's stuff and then I'm going to win. It's a nice way to win games, right? You lower your stuff, you trap a location with Goose. Goose and Cyclops tend to make lane 1, especially if you have Mobius, so they can't sneak anything in there. And then you're dropping Abomination and She-Hulk and calling it a day. Abomination is like basically always free in this deck. If you can get a Scorpion out early and a Hazmat out turn 4 or 5, enjoy. You can also just play Hazmat only on turn 5, and then you have a 4-cost She-Hulk, and Abomination is basically always going to fit under that. And you still get the +4 power on Sunspot. It's very, very nice. They're super simple deck, super effective. It doesn't go over the top of things. It's a control deck, despite what it looks like. Trust me, it's a control deck. It's nice. Okay. So you need Evo, but he's currently in Spotlights, and Mobius can be Cosmo, although the Goose is worse than. Ooh. Mobius is usually just fine as Cosmo, though, in most games. All right. This is 62% win rate, and it hit rank 100 when it hit Infinite. So turn 1, use Sunspot. Turn 2, use Scorpion over Armor over Goose. Turn 3, use Cyclops or Mobius. Turn 4, Mobius or Hazmat. Turn 5, Goose or Hazmat. Turn 6, She-Hulk and Abomination. Super straightforward, nice easy snapping. You can tell when they can go over you or not, and you can win games that way. It's good stuff. Riku 97 Evolutionary is a beautiful deck. We've got Hip Sunspot, Hip Goose, Hip Mobius, Hip High Evolutionary. Oh, only 4? There were more in my head. Oh well. I threw the Scorpion in because it's the extra green Scorpion, and we've got the extra green version of Hazmat to be with Abomination and She-Hulk. I threw the Jim Lees for Rogue and Cyclops in, and then we have the same Shadow King and Armor that we always have, because they're the only 2 I have, but they're also the best of them, so that's convenient. All right. This is the most fun deck here. It's like bluntly probably the worst of these. BigOldBuck had a 75% win rate with it. I had, I don't know, I'll check my win rate later, but like a really high win rate with it. But like it's mostly just people don't know what the hell you're doing because this is so weird. Skaar is okay here. But the core of the deck is just doing silly shit with Surfer, Thor, and Shaw. Cool. So basically what you want to do is you want to get Magic down. If you get Magic and Sarah down, so much the better. And then if you can get like Surfer, Shaw and Thor going, you can Surfer on 6, and then on 7 you can play Mjolnir and Odin on top of it, and then you win because you just doubled Surfered and made Thor plus 12 power. Generally speaking, your Skaar is going to cost 4 in this deck. If you're not going to get that Odin play up, you can usually tell pretty quickly. It's pretty easy to get Shaw up to making Skaar a 4. Nothing else really gets there, but Gladiator with the Surfer on top does. So you will then be able to have that 2-cost Skaar, which means you can play it with Absorbing Man, choosing to Absorb Man to copy either that Mjolnir, which has worked for me, or Surfer, which has also worked for me. Either way, it's fine. All right, you need Gladiator, Skaar, and Shaw. Sorry. Skaar is like the fun part of the deck. It's why this is cool. Like, honestly, you can play it without Skaar, but there's no point. You just add another consistency piece and you'll be fine. Um, Gladiator is the only 3 in the game, and you need a 3/8 because 3/8 becomes 3/10 when you add Surfer to it. That's how Skaar works. Shaw is like the key to the deck. Like, Hulkbuster and Nakia, Surfer are all, and Okoye are all here because they're so good with Shaw. It's possible that you get Gladiator to 10 with Okoye and Nakia, but like it's not real likely. So you need Gladiator, Skaar, and Shaw. What? All right. Play by play. 75% in 25 games. Turn 1 pass. Turn 2 Okoye. Turn 3 Nakia if Shaw is in hand, or Thor is better than Gladiator if not. Turn 4 is Magic, and turn 5 is Sarah, or Magic. Magic is usually more important than Sarah. Turn 6, Shaw plus Gladiator plus Surfer if you can. Gladiator is the worst of those if necessary, and you can always Hulkbuster on a Shaw whenever you want. Hulkbuster on Shaw, again, gets you to that 10, because it becomes a 9/11. Oh, you can throw it on Gladiator if you must. Then Odin plus Skaar on the last turn of the game. Throw Absorb Man in where necessary. Usually, again, for Surfer, but not unheard of to do it for Mjolnir. You can also conceivably, if you can get that done earlier somehow, Surfer on 5, and then drop that Absorb Man on 6. You can Odin on top of both of those on turn 7. All right. BigOldBuck's Skaar Surfer is a strange deck in that it's got Absorb Man hip, Sarah hip, like just looking, excuse me. Absorb Man hip, Sarah hip, Odin hip, Gladiator hip, Nakia hip. I've got the hip Surfer, but this other one is so much better. So we're at a 5 Surfer deck. We've got Frog Thor because Frog Thor is the best Thor. I will hear no slander toward this. We've got my favorite Shaw. I like the swirly flames. The Koye we got from the way back Black Panther season pass. Steampunk Hulkbuster, so let's hope that data mines are right, and that is a album that's coming. And then I threw Midnight Sun's Magic in here. Why? Because why the hell not? Ooh, that's the deck. That's most of today's video. We still have variants. So it seems like I had a Null / Venom takeover almost, right? So I got Null Storm. I don't like nullified variants. I don't like Null. I think, like, no offense to people who do enjoy that Null Venom thing. It's not for me. I have no interest. So, like, I immediately eliminated all those. I have a Maximus that's close to this, but I think it's a better Maximus. So, like, what am I doing buying this one? Which leaves Jim Lee Magic and Marco variant Mystique. Mystique was this close to... Oh, and the Midnight Sun Spider-Man. I have a hip Spider-Man, and I have a gold background on the other the Spider-Man from the Ghost Spider season pass, so I'm good with that. So then we have Mystique. We have this, I mean, fairly nice Mystique, right? Like, I think this is a really cool Mystique. But I have the Peach Momoko, and I have the Ms. Marvel one, so I don't really want to spend gold on just another Mystique to have one that I won't play. And Magic, I have like 4 Magics. I have the Midnight Suns, I have the Flaming Phoenix Sword one, I have the one from the, like, buy stuff in the Newverse store. And then I have the baby. So I have 4 Magics. I don't need a 5th. This might be my favorite Magic, but like it's not high enough above the others that I think it's worth 1,200 gold. So I also opened some random stuff. Like I got the mystery variant for buying the season pass, and then I opened something else. I got this yellow jacket. I have this and the steampunk yellow jacket. Which one do I like more? I have no idea. Probably this one. I'll decide which one's going to be my favorite later. And I got this death, but I have the Midnight Sun, not Midnight Suns. Is it Midnight Suns? No. Maybe it's not Midnight Suns. It was Jesus. I don't remember. It's the one that's a tarot card, and I have that with a gold background, and I love it. And like that is Midnight Suns, right? Yeah. And that's just gonna be my death forever. I also have the mech death, but whatever. So like this is a death I now own. I'm not sad to own. It's really good art, but like I'm perfectly happy with the death I have. All right, thanks to our patrons. If you'd like to be a patron, please check our Patreon, patreon.com/snapjudgments. We've got all sorts of exclusive stuff there, including a 3-hour exclusive podcast from Roy and myself where we review every single card that was released in Marvel Snap in the year of 2023. We're going to do one exclusive podcast there a month. There's all sorts of exclusive information, writing, all sorts of good stuff over there. So our Patreons are Models Pretty Chill. Models and Pretty Chill are members of our Discord on the Marvel Snapzone Discord. Fothar Newman, who's a creator you should check out on YouTube. Ink and NoFlex. Ink, NoFlex, and Mandatory Burnout are three more of the members of our Discord. Matt Conduit 23, Josh Apodaca, another Discord person, Heretics Lee, Mikey Hijinks, Rob Silverman, Matt H, Robert Rivern, who is bluntly the most underrated Hella player in the whole wide world, Abigail Giesland, Direwolf, Ocularis, Louis Antunes, who I don't know how to explain this, but is like one of my friends, but also was sort of one of my former students. I'm sure he'd be happy to tell you about it. He can make fun of me in the process. JD McDonaldinho, who's a content creator also over on Twitch, you should check out. He's a phenomenal player, ranks near the top of the leaderboard every season. And our homie Min, who is on Twitch as Rito in disguise. So check out our Patreons, our rock stars. Thank you all so much for your support. I appreciate you. Final thoughts. I think Skaar is really, really good. I think Skaar is going to get countered relatively soon by stuff like Mobius. But, and this is a huge but, eventually that will cycle out and Skaar will be really good. I think, okay, in terms of season pass cards, I think Skaar is worse than Ms. Marvel. Ms. Marvel is the best card in the game. I think Skaar is worse than original Elsa and Loki. Great. So it's not one of the all-time best cards in the game. Still a great card. It's seemingly a little better or as close to as good as She-Hulk, and She-Hulk's one of the better cards in the game. So I think that Skaar is worth getting and really good. We're going to do weekend mission decks for both Skaar and Kyara tomorrow. Please hit that sub button, like, comment. We work really hard to bring you the best Marvel Snap content. And if you are here all the time and really enjoy this stuff, check out the Patreon where I hang out all the time and do everything I can to answer questions and support those who support me. We appreciate you. Thanks so much for watching. Happy, what day is it now? Thursday, week after Christmas. Teacher, it's rough. Peace.